Most business owners think they're behind on AI. They're not. They're solving the wrong problem. And every tool that they subscribe to, every tutorial that they binge, every prompt they copy is actually pulling them further behind. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the 3 mistakes that I see business owners making with AI over and over again. And then I'll walk you through the 1 shift that's actually getting results for the founders that I work with. This is not a tool review or a prompt tutorial. This is the strategy piece that nobody's talking about. Here's what I want you to hear before anything else. You are not late to AI. The reason it feels that way has nothing to do with timing and everything to do with where you're pointing your energy. Think about what you've been doing for the last year. You keep hearing about AI from every direction: podcasts, LinkedIn, your peers, your competitors. So you did what any smart business owner would do. You started subscribing to tools. You watched YouTube videos. You tested things out. Maybe you asked someone on your team to look into it and report back, and none of it stuck. That's not because you're slow. It's not because you're not technical enough. It's because you skipped the most important step. You never stopped to identify the actual problem AI is supposed to solve in your business. You went tool first instead of problem first. And that's the gap that's actually costing you. The founders that I work with who are getting real results from AI right now, they're not the ones with the most subscriptions. They're the ones who get clear on the single biggest bottleneck in their business and have pointed AI directly at that one thing. And I see it constantly. We've had over 80 active members inside of our program, and the story is almost always the same. They walk in already paying for ChatGPT, Claude, 2 or 3 automation platforms, and when I ask them, what results have you actually gotten from any of these, they can't answer. Not because the tools are bad, but because they never started with the constraint. Now let me show you exactly what solving the problem actually looks like in practice. Because if you're doing any of these 3 things right now, this is why AI feels like a total waste of time. Mistake number 1, tool collecting. You heard about a new AI tool on a podcast, you subscribed. Someone in your Facebook group recommended another one, you signed up for that one too. Your buddy told you about something else and you grabbed that one. Now you're paying for 6 different platforms. You're logging into none of them consistently and you've got nothing to show for it. Here's the thing. The tool is not the strategy. The tool is supposed to serve a strategy. And if you don't have one, all you're doing is collecting subscriptions. Mistake number 2, copying creator tactics. So you're watching AI content online and you're trying to apply it to your business. The problem is that most AI content out there is made for solo creators and freelancers. Their world looks nothing like yours, right? You have a team, you have clients, you have operations, you have a sales pipeline. What works for a 1-person content business does not translate into a company doing $1 million to $25 million with 10 or 15 people on the payroll. You don't need a creator's playbook, you need a business operator's playbook. And almost nobody is making that kind of content. Mistake number 3, and this is the one that really gets me, spending more time on AI than it actually saves you. This is the one that nobody talks about. You implemented an AI workflow and it technically works, but by the time you set it up, maintain it, fix it, when it breaks and you manually check the output, you've burned more hours than if you just done the thing yourself. That is not leverage, that's a hobby. And if AI is adding complexity to your business instead of actually removing it, you've got it pointed at the wrong problem. So let me tell you about Alex Moscow. He came into the Prime Elite Mastermind and he was messing around with all kinds of AI tools to try to write copy, try to write social media posts. He came into our workshop and after 2 days, I showed him exactly what tools to use, exactly what prompts to use, and he wrote a single post that closed a $50,000 client, and then he went on to collect over $618,000 using the same techniques. Because it's not about collecting more tools, it's about using them the right way to actually get output and stop spinning your wheels. So if collecting tools doesn't work, copying creators doesn't work, and brute forcing AI into your business doesn't work, what actually does? It comes down to one thing, and most business owners have never even thought about it. Instead of starting with a tool and looking for a use for it, you start with your business and you ask one question: what is the single biggest constraint holding this business back right now? Not the 5 things that are kind of annoying, not the thing you saw someone else automate on LinkedIn, that one bottleneck that if you removed it, it would actually unlock the most growth in your business. Maybe it's lead flow. Maybe it's how long it takes to close a deal. Maybe it's that you're still personally doing work that your team should own. Whatever it is, that's where AI goes first. Not everywhere, not at random, at the constraint. We call this the constraint-first AI implementation. You diagnose the bottleneck, you aim AI directly at it, and you don't move on to the next thing until the constraint is actually resolved. And that's why our clients see results in weeks instead of months. They're not trying to overhaul their entire business with AI. They're fixing the one thing that matters the most, and then they move on and they expand from there. Let me give you a real example. Dr. Joey Munoz runs Fit for Life Academy. He's an MD and he's an influencer that generates leads from organic content on Instagram. Now his business was growing, but here's the problem. Joey was personally doing 100% of his company's sales calls, every single one. And that bottleneck was choking everything else. He couldn't make more content because he was on calls all day. He couldn't grow his team because he was the only one that was closing. The constraint wasn't content, it wasn't lead gen, it was Joey on the phone. So instead of handing him a stack of AI tools, we built one agent focused on that single constraint. And that agent analyzed how Joey actually sold on the calls, the way he handled objections, the nuanced fitness questions that he was asked over and over and over again as an actual doctor. And we used all of this to train his replacement. The agent monitored the new reps' calls in real time, and it flagged what was working, and it flagged exactly where coaching was needed. Now, 8 out of 10 calls are handled by that rep with no drop in close rate. Joey bought back his time and he's using it to do what he does best, create even more content, drive more leads, and grow the business. That's what happens when you find the constraint first and you aim AI at it instead of trying to guess. And Joey's story is not a one-off. Let me show you what this looks like across completely different industries so that you can see this isn't about the niche, it's about the actual method. And this is where most people get stuck. They hear a story like Joey's and they think, that's great, but my business is different. Look, and I hear that all the time. It's the most common objection out there, and it's the one that keeps business owners stuck the longest. So let me show you 2 more examples that look nothing like Joey and nothing like each other. Let's take Krista, for example. Krista's constraint was demand, specifically her show-up rate to webinars and paid online events. Now, she was generating leads, but not enough of them were actually showing up. So we took an AI voice agent and we customized it specifically for her market, and we used it to call every single lead that came through her pipeline. And the goal was simple. We wanted to increase speed to lead and response time so that people actually heard from her before they forgot that they signed up. And the result is she got her show-up rate to 36%. That's 16% more than the industry best practice. This is the same method as Joey, completely different business, completely different constraint. Or let's take, for example, Sunny. Sunny runs the largest MSP in the United States, thousands of employees. And his constraint was the opposite of Krista's. It wasn't demand, it was supply. He had more customers than his team could actually handle, and they were maxed out on ticket triaging, routing and dispatch, solving lower level tickets. So we ran the constraint test and we found out exactly where the bottleneck was and taught his team how to build AI agents around those specific workflows. And the result? His team has implemented now over 150 agents, and they're saving more than 1,000 hours a month, not by overhauling the entire business, by finding the constraint and building AI around it. 3 completely different businesses, 3 different constraints, 1 method. That's the point. The industry does not matter, the method does. So if you're running a real business that's consistently doing at least 50K or more per month, and you know AI should be driving more growth, but you can't quite figure out where to start, that's the exact problem that we solve. I run a program, it's called Prime Elite, and we help founders identify the one constraint holding their business back. We then build AI systems around it, and we turn that into real leverage. More revenue, fewer hours, and a business that doesn't actually depend on you for everything. The link is in the description. Go see it if it's a fit. And look, if you got something out of this video, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I'm gonna keep putting out videos like this, breaking down exactly how business owners are using AI to actually grow, not just play with tools. And if you know another founder who needs to hear it, send it to them, and I'll see you on the next video.